Here are the highlights of the day. When I woke up, my mom prepared 2 eggs, but she wanted me to make the bacon. So I made the bacon and I put in some toast. Now, my mom's currently on a low carb diet, so she can't eat toast. This was the English muffin, by the way, not normal toast. So she didn't want me to put one in for her. Now, once it was done, I put some mayonnaise on the English muffin. And then she put the eggs on the English muffin that had the mayonnaise. And afterwards, it was time to eat. With the bacon on top, it was quite tasty. Me and my mom then watched a YouTube video about the current economic strife that's going on in China right now. Apparently, they have in China, there is a huge portion of younger people who are unemployed. Their economy is built on America buying their products, and because of the tariffs that are causing mayhem in China, uh, it is making it very difficult for them to sell their products in America. And this is ultimately means that China is having a bad time. But on top of that, their um, government is apparently lying about everything being okay and their GDP going up. So that is very strange. Apparently, it's because the video we watched stated it's because the China wanted to look good, but they're not really being truthful about their situation. And so when they say something, it usually means the opposite of what they say. So it's pretty crazy seeing what's going on over there. Heart goes out for all the poor, younger people there who have difficulty getting work. Must be difficult. Yes, apparently there's not enough buying and selling going on over in China for the economy to boost. Something must be done. Well, anyways, after watching that, I got ready for work and left. And when I got to work, it was pretty rainy. It was a rainy day. I had to put on some galoshes. Luckily, I had slip-on galoshes that I put over my normal shoes, and those worked out just fine. I pushed carts for about an hour, and then, for the next hour, I bagged, and then for the next hour, I sweeped, and then for the hour after that, I went and bagged once more. There was a confusing altercation. Apparently, our CSR, the person who's in control of the courtesy clerks, wanted me to go to lunch half an hour early because we had a lot of two people going to lunch at 2 o'clock. And so if I went to lunch half an hour early, I'd be back. And being back a half hour earlier than I would have if I left at 2 would mean that there would be enough help on deck to help out in the store. So I agreed to the offer because it seemed sensible to me. A very unusual request, though, I have to admit. Normally, I'm not asked things like that, but I was asked today, and one second. All right, I'm back. So, if you wanted to know what interrupted me, my mom wanted to show me a Facebook video she was watching of someone who made an AI generated video of Donald Trump in 1980s garb playing drums and a guitar. Uh, it was really weird. Anyways, let's move on. So when I got to home, there was delicious lamb meat and rice waiting for me, and it was very good. I really liked it. My mom actually heated up the lamb meat, which I was very grateful for, and I heated up the leftover rice from last night's meal in the microwave. Uh, After it was all cooked and ready, I put a bit of hot sauce on it to jazz it up a bit, and it was very good. Then me and my mom called my sister because my sister actually tried contacting me earlier at when I was working, but because I was working, I wasn't able to answer the phone until I did get an opening. So I did try calling her 3 times, but she wouldn't pick up. But she picked up this time, and she basically just wanted to know if I'd be up for doing a meditation session with her. And I said yes. Monday would be a good time or day, because I had that day off. Well, after that lunch, I was watching this YouTube video, me and my mom were, of this Nobel Prize winning scientist who was a AI pioneer in the 1980s, who was talking about how his large language model research ultimately is now what in effect is being used with ChatGPT as we speak. Now, his ideas have grown past what he originally proposed, and now what we have is something super advanced, more so than he ever thought possible. But he's worried that no regulations will cause the AI to be out of control and ultimately take over humanity. Those were his concerns. It was interesting to watch. Then I drove back to work after watching that frightening video, and the last 4 hours were pretty chill, not going to lie. I was talking with my boy, a cashier. He is pretty awesome, and we were discussing quantum fields and how they might be conscious, and how scientists was proposing the idea that human beings are simply just vessels for like the quantum oneness to interact with the universe. And then once we die, that those quantum fields go back into that oneness, taking what they it learned with it, which was a bizarre and interesting theory. And when I suggested that to um, the cashier I was working with, he said that quantum fields don't go do a job or pay bills, so therefore it can't be real, which was pretty interesting. Then he gave me a peanut butter and chocolate cookie. I don't know if he made it himself or who made it. Well, he said he didn't make it, so that rules that out. But I tried it, and it was very good. I liked it very much. And then it was pretty much just 3 hours of bagging and 1 hour of lot. Now I have 10-minute breaks that I take 2 hours into the uh, first half of the shift and the last half of the shift. And during these two breaks, I decided a good use of my time would be to meditate while doing breathing exercises, which was a pretty interesting experience, not going to lie. Felt tingly all around my body. Well, alright. After I was done karting for the last hour, which was pretty basic, I mean, the only big thing I guess I could say is that there were two airplanes that looked like personal size airplanes that were driving over the store I worked at, so that was interesting. I said goodbye to all of my coworkers and drove home. There, our family friend suggested having the Little Caesars pretzel pizza. Now, of course, my mom can't have that, so she said she would have spinach instead, steamed spinach, and that me and the family friend could get it. So we both agreed, and we got the pizza. It was pretty good. It was an interesting texture. They put nacho cheese on the pizza, which gave it a really creamy consistency that I wasn't used to. But it was pretty tasty. Well, anyways, after that, I decided to chill in my room and finish watching a Red Letter Media video. Uh, their latest, at the time of publishing this video, Best of the Worst video. It's a series where they watch terrible movies on VHS and DVD, and then they talk about which one's the best of the worst. This one was pretty funny. It was about like a guy who was like a fan of making cookies but also wanted to beat up crime. But the story was really nonsensical and weird. But you could tell it was trying to be comedic, but ultimately didn't really know how to approach its comedicness. Then I took some vitamins. I brushed my teeth, put on my pajamas. Then I pet two of my three cats for a really long time. They were both orange tabbies. One's old, one's young, and they seemed to enjoy that. And then I hugged our other. The two orange tabbies were male, by the way. The other one's a female, long haired calico named Autumn, and I gave her some pets and a kiss. Then I said goodnight to my mom and her family friend, and I'm going to go to bed um, right after doing a meditation session. So, thank you for listening to this and have a great day. Good night.